Good afternoon, everybody. Sam Romeo here, environmental educator at Aullwood, and today I am talking about leaves. Now, just not any leaves, not because they're changing or something, but the importance of leaves during the fall and wintertime, and why, if you can, leave your leaves in your yard. So let's find out why. Now, when you remove leaf litter, you find a lot of really interesting insects, just like this guy. A lot of roly-polies, I guess you could say, a lot of very tiny bugs. A lot of little tiny spiders. Whatever that guy is. So, not only does the leaves on the forest floor act as kind of a safe haven for insects during the wintertime, but they also return a lot of that organic matter back into the forest floor that is so important for come springtime for a lot of our favorite wildflowers that come. Our butterflies, some of the giant silk moths, these all rely on overwintering in this leaf litter. And if you were to remove that leaf litter, you're not going to have those insects. Now, without those insects, then you're not going to have the main connection between the plants and all of the other predators and those animals that rely on those insects to feed. You're going to have a broken food chain or food web, and when that happens, everything starts to collapse. Now here's another friend that lives in the leaf litter. Well, I guess they buried themselves a little bit in the soil, but right now I was just moving some leaves and I found this guy. A redback salamander. And they rely on the leaf litter and all those little insects that live in that leaf litter too. All right, see you later. You can see a bluebird. There's a lot of movement down in the leaves. Those are all robins and bluebirds, and they're all kicking around in that soil looking for insects. There, you see the leaves moving? So just like me looking for these insects in these leaves right now, so are the birds. And that's why it's so important to leave this leaf litter out, because it gives so many insects so many safe places, and it helps supports so many different birds, so many different animals. So if you were to take away those insects and their home, you're taking away a major food source for a lot of these birds in the fall time. Almost looks like the ground is moving. So not only are leaves important on the forest floor and in your yard for insects, but leaves are just as important, if not even more important, in streams during the fall. Now, they are most important in headwater streams. So this is Wiles Creek that runs right through Aullwood. The nature center is right up there. There's the house on the hill up there. And in the headwater streams and upper level streams, these leaf packs that we call are filled with macroinvertebrates. Not only do they kind of winter in there and provide warmth to kind of little layers of blankets, but it's also a major food source for a lot of macroinvertebrates. And what these macroinvertebrates are essentially, some of the stone flies, the caddis flies, Dobson flies. All of these insects, or macroinvertebrates as we call them in the streams or riparian areas, are major food sources for a lot of fish. Now, in these leaf packs, in this part of the stream, there are insects that will, for example, there's insects that are classified as shredders. And what they do when they eat these leaves, they shred them up. And then those leaves, the shredded leaves, will go farther downstream, and other insects rely on those shredded leaves to eat. Now, they can't eat full, leaves as some other macroinvertebrates do, but they rely on an insect who shreds those leaves into smaller pieces to fall downstream for them to survive on. So not only is there a food web or a food chain involved with these macroinvertebrates, but there's even a smaller one involved within the macroinvertebrates themselves. There are different stages that they have to feed on these leaves. All right. So even though you may think that the creek is filled with leaves and that is kind of damming up and restricting the flow of water, these are actually very important for riparian areas and ecosystems, because the macroinvertebrates are the major link, just like insects and the leaf packets on your lawn. They are the major link between plants and the animals that rely on that energy transfer from the plants to the insects to them. So these leaf packets, either being in the creek or on land, are extremely important for insects, because those insects are extremely important for a lot of our migrating birds, a lot of our fish, and the entire food web and food chain that exists in this forest ecosystem. Well, I want to thank you all for watching this week, and I really hope that you at least take some consideration to maybe making a part of your yard an area where you keep your leaves, or you leave your leaves out, because that helps supports a lot of our insects, making your yard bird friendly, especially for a lot of these birds that maybe stick around during the winter time and rely on these insects, like the golden crowned kinglet, a very tiny bird. It eats insects all winter long. Its body weight fluctuates throughout the day, and they spend their entire time here in the wintertime, relying on these tiny insects within the leaf layer. Now, if you were to keep your leaves and leave your leaves on your property, that way, come springtime, a lot of birds, insects, and other animals will be very happy and may even call your yard home. Well, I want to thank you all for watching. I will see you next week. Thank you.